Hello and welcome to episode number 69 of The Pitcher or the Hitter, the podcast by the M-SABR Dynasty League for the M-SABR Dynasty League. I am Cam.
And I am not Sahil. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Man, Cam records one episode of Who Cares You Suck, and all of a sudden he's ready to replace me with Andrew. I mean, I get it, but, Andrew does a great job with Who Cares You Suck, but man, this is the second time in 3 episodes now where somebody stole my thunder. First Lexi introduced herself as me, and now Andrew's trying to take my job.
Hey, he's introducing himself as not you. So that's a little different, but yeah, we're all, we're trying out a different co-host schedule, seeing what works.
Yeah, we were gonna have Andrew on for just one segment, and then we decided let's have some fun with this. We're gonna have Andrew on for the entire episode. We are looking forward to this. We have a lot of fun stuff planned for today. As we just mentioned, it was episode number 69, a very nice number, and because we're a little childish, we have a fun game of trivia related to that number. And what we haven't told Andrew is there was also another surprise. February 27th is Yovani Gallardo's birthday, and we are putting this episode up on his birthday. So this is a special Gallardo-themed episode as well, with some Gallardo-themed trivia, it sounds like, Cam.
Yeah, so we've got a lot to get to.
Yes.
First and foremost, let's start out by what went on the day of recording, and that was maybe the biggest holiday in league history, with the exception of Gallardo's birthday, and that is the Fangraphs Prospect drop. The list is out, and for the first time, it was Sahil who won the race to pick up all the guys. That was interesting.
Not the first time. Last year, I got to it too. Last year, there was a couple people who also got into it at the same time, but this year was me. I was sitting in the middle of my income tax class. I was reading the comments section of another article, and they're like, oh, the Fangraphs list is like 6 Orioles ranked in the top 100. I immediately went to Fangraphs, picked up all the players. I'll give us credit because, like, in past years, I feel like there's been like closer to like 8 to 10 guys who haven't been picked up. This year, I could only find 4, and those were the 4 I added.
I found one more, but I didn't think he was worth picking up.
Interesting. I'll have to go back and figure out who that is.
To find out.
Yeah, I'll have to do a closer look after we finish recording. Although my roster is pretty full right now after everything that all the players I added today. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. I think I almost doubled the number of pitchers I had on my minor league team. I think I have 6 now. But I looked through a couple of these guys, and there's some pretty solid players sitting there that I was able to add. So I was pretty happy with this haul. And I know, like, last year, I didn't intend to keep all of these Fangraphs players, but they were very useful in trade talks with, just having the legitimacy of them being highly rated on the list that we all view as legitimate. So I'm excited to dangle these pieces in trade talks. And indeed, we might see a trade or two very soon if things go according to plan.
We might, but yeah, it was an interesting list for sure, and including some of our people. Kyle Harrison cracked the top 40. Brandon Williamson was high on a lot of lists, even higher than Emerson Hancock, who, Andrew, you just traded for. Hancock failed to make the list.
No, I think they just forgot him because I can't search him on the board. It doesn't appear. I think, he's just one of those guys that slipped through the crack. So, shame on them. So I don't know. It was certainly unfortunate to see. That would be like, I don't know, if Kyle Schwarber was just absent from all like top 75 outfielders for 2022, I'd be like, oh. They had to have just forgotten him. So
something is clearly wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be like if somebody left Raimel Tapia out of the best Rockies players in team history.
That's certainly there's a discussion to be had about that. But if you're excluding Tapia, but if you're including Pat Valaika, then it's totally okay.
Okay, yeah. Pat Valaika is a legend. I will agree with that. Both a Rocky and an Oriole legend, but he will always have a special place in my heart for all the Rockies box scores I saw where I swore he played every day, even though he definitely didn't. But yeah, this is definitely a very interesting list on Fangraphs. There's definitely a few players that like stood out to me. Like I was not expecting McAble to be their third ranked pitching prospect and ranked 20th overall, but I was pleasantly surprised. I know Cam was a little disappointed to see that his boy Vidal Brujan slipped from a 60 FV last year to a 50 FV this year. A few others, Miguel Yajor, touted as the 69th prospect in last year's rankings, is no longer on this list. A damn shame.
Yeah.
Kobe Mayo is 69th now in honor of the episode number. It's Kobe Mayo.
Yeah. That was going to be one of my trivia questions, actually, but we.
No.
No, you're good. You're good. You're totally good. No, that cracks me up. But yeah, you're going to hear that number a lot today.
What number?
69. I don't
Nice
know
number.
that number yet.
That is nice. It's very something about it. Could you repeat it one more time? I'm not fully sure I caught it.
It's 69. That is the number 6 with the number 9 to follow it.
69.
Yes.
All right.
We are literally 10, but that is okay. There's some other interesting ones here too. I'm not going to go through all of these here because I could be here all day, but this was a very interesting list, and I was glad to see it finally drop. I always look forward to this every year.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of prospects, though, we do have to talk about Josh Young, who may be out for the season with that injury. Had the surgery, I believe, either today or yesterday. That's got to hurt.
Yeah, 9th overall prospect on Fangraphs in their list. So as a bummer for you, Andrew. I know you just traded away to Brian Hayes too, who could have factored into that third base equation. Do we want to get into this now, or do we want to get into this when we do the Andrew interview?
Let's save it for the Andrew interview. We've got a lot of stuff to get to.
Yeah.
In this first segment, you are going to be quizzing us on 69 facts. I'm going to be quizzing you on a Gallardo fact. It's going to be pretty interesting. We've got a lot going. So what do we want to get to right now? Are we going to celebrate? What milestone excitement are we going to celebrate first?
Let's let our guests pick. Gallardo questions first, or 69 questions first, Andrew?
Let's go with the 69 questions. But I will say I feel bad that I didn't have any questions prepared for you guys. I'm sure I could have whipped up some form of who he play for.
Oh, yeah, that would have been fun. But I think both of you are going to have fun playing this 69 trivia game. So let's start. Which question should I start with? All right. Who was the 69th pick in our inaugural draft?
All right, let's see. 69th pick would have been in the 6th round. Would it have been the 9th pick of the 6th round?
That is awesome.
Yes, that is correct.
Round 6, pick 9, which
Nice.
would have been the 4th person from the left, which I believe would have been me. I believe it would have been my 6th round pick, and my 6th round pick was, let's see, Joey Gallo?
Oh, you were close. Joey Gallo went in the 7th round to you at pick number 76. Andrew, do you want to take a guess as to who the 69th pick is before I reveal the answer?
I'm going to have no shot at this because I was not at the draft.
A dart throw, low-key might do it for you.
A complete dart throw. I got to think of people that Cam has drafted. I don't even know who Cam drafted in the inaugural draft. I couldn't even tell you his first overall draft, like his first overall pick. Gee. I'm going to go with Joey Votto.
Joey Votto was his 3rd round pick. One pick before MVP Christian Yelich, as a side note. But the answer is Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Nice pick.
Yeah, very nice.
Good value.
It was a fun round. So just very quickly, other names who won in that round include Garrett Cole, Zach Greinke, Shohei Ohtani, Robbie Ray, Eloy Jimenez, James Paxton, Rougned Odor, Michael Fulmer, and Will Myers also won in that round, as well as Chris Davis. So it wasn't all good, but a very good round nonetheless. Nice job. What was the 69th rookie ever taken in a rookie draft? So that would be, just to give you all a little bit of a hint, the 3rd round of the 2020 prospect draft.
3rd round of 2020. Let's see. Yeah, it would have been the end of that. So 36 in the 1st round in the 1st year. So it would have been, I guess, pick 33 of the 2nd draft.
Was Logan Gilbert a 3rd rounder? Or was he in the 2019 draft? He might have been 19.
I think he was 2019. I am going to guess Tommy Henry.
That's a good guess.
Do you want to give a guess, Andrew?
I'm trying to think of anybody that was drafted in the 3rd round that year. I'm going to say Logan Gilbert. Screw it. He's probably 2019, but just in case he was 2020.
Well, so interestingly, you both picked a player who was drafted with the same pick, but in different years. Logan Gilbert was indeed drafted in 2019 by AJ and Max. In between Daniel Lynch and Brock Deatherage, GOAT name. Cam got the right team for this pick. I drafted Tommy Henry and then cut him not too long after. But it was Daniel Espino who I drafted 3rd overall. Wow.
Daniel Espino.
Nice guess. All right. What was the 69th overall trade in league history? And this is including 3-team trades as 3 separate trades.
Which
is how the spreadsheet does it.
Oh, that's an interesting.
I can give some hints with the teams because I feel like otherwise it might be hard.
I'm gonna throw a shot in the dark and say it was one of the Ke'Bryan Hayes ones. Let's say he was moved around.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take a shot in the dark and say it was one of the Jesus Sanchez ones.
Good guesses for both of you.
Slightly
both wrong. Do you want to give it one more guess with me giving you the team names?
I'm going to say John Gray was traded with the 69th trade.
And I'm going to say that Sean Murphy was traded with the 69th.
Oh, that's a good guess.
All right. It is neither. Walk It Like I Balk It has agreed to trade outfielder Tommy Pham and starting pitcher prospect Justice Sheffield to panic at the Frisco for reliever Josh Hader, starter Ryan Weathers, outfielder, and just not a good fantasy asset. Sorry, Eric Leody Taveras, and its 2023 round pick. And that pick ended up being, if you all are curious, with it's Braden Schumann.
Oh.
Yeah, so that is that. The next one is, and I wanted to purposely give some questions in which I thought Andrew might have a little better of a shot at because he was in the league, or he joined the league a little later. What was the 69th trade in 2021? And this is not including 3-team trades as 3 separate trades. It just counts as one trade. Because I thought this brought up a more memorable result.
I'm going to say it was the Jake McGee deal.
This was 2021?
2021, yes.
Oh, wait. No.
Solely in 2020.
I'm going to say it was the Sean Manaea trade.
Okay.
It was a little later in time.
I'm gonna say it was the Connor trading for Robbie Ray.
Cam was closer. Connor was involved, but it was EVO has agreed to send Trevor Story and Paul Goldschmidt to the Off-White Sox for Alberto Mondesi, Carlos Rodon. It's 2023 first and it's 2022 second round pick. And that pick turned out to be Roderick Arias because Connor eventually got that pick back. So close, but no cigar. Team that came closest to 69 points in the 2020 Rado standings. You have a 1-in-12 shot at this one.
Team that came closest to 69 points.
Yes. No team scored exactly 69 points, but one came damn close.
I think I had 30 that year.
I think 69, judging on Hockey Rado, is probably in the 8 or 9 range. So I'm going to say Anthony.
Okay. What say you, Andrew? And before you say that, you had 35 Rado points.
Yikes.
Yeah, 0.5 lower than Connor.
I wanted to be proven wrong.
Yeah.
There you have it. 0.5 Rado points gave me Torkelson instead of wherever Connor ended up picking. Let's see. I'm going to say Eric. I'm going to say he was close to 69, right on the border of the playoffs.
All right. Well, you two picked the team above and then the team below the team that it was. Cam was technically closer because Anthony had 59 and Eric had 84. But the answer is Clayton and Jake had 68 points in the Rado.
Nice season.
Yeah, it was, y'all were close here. All right. 2 more questions. Who was the team who had 69 saves in 2018? The only person to finish with 69 in any category. 1-in-12 shot. I doubt Cam really remembers much. So I feel like you two are probably like equally balanced here.
I don't know if 69 saves is good or bad. I feel like it's probably not great, right? 3 saves.
I don't think it's really either. I think it's bad per se, but it's not amazing. Give me my former team. Give me North Korea.
Oh, okay. That's a good.
All right. Give me EBO.
All right. It was neither of them. It was me.
Wow. You had some nice relievers that year.
Yes.
You certainly did.
All right. And I have one more question. This one is both Yovani and 69 related. I came up with this before Cam decided, or Cam told me he was going to do Yovani trivia questions. So we're going to roll with this one anyway. This 2009 Astro hit in the 69th earned run that was scored against Yovani in his career. 2009 Astro, and this is a name this isn't just some random name that neither of you are gonna know. Like
2000, who's on the 2009 Astros? I think Hunter Pence was. I think.
Couldn't name one Astro in 2009.
Michael Bourne might have been, although I think no, maybe he was traded for Hunter Pence. So I don't know. I'm going to go with Hunter Pence.
Do you have a guess, Andrew?
I'm going to say he had some self-destructive tendencies, so I'm going to go with Yovani Gallardo.
It was Yovani Gallardo. No, it was Hunter Pence.
Hey.
Oh.
Yeah. Nice job, Cam. I also looked up his 69 strikeout, but like I don't think either of you knew who this was, and I certainly did not know who it was. Cam, did you ask that question in your trivia set?
No.
Okay, well then I will say it. It is Josh Phelps.
Josh Phelps. No, can't say I've heard of Josh Phelps.
He was from Idaho, and he is now playing, or last year he played for in the Italian Baseball League for a team named the Telemarket Rimini.
The Telemarket Rimini, yeah.
I wonder what
play the ball.
I wonder what he thinks about Frank Mazzucato.
What does he think of Sonny Milano?
Tony D'Angelo.
I love it. Oh my God, that never gets old. All right, that is all the trivia that I had. But Cam, let's hear yours.
Yeah, so let's I guess transition into our Yovani Gallardo birthday celebration. Happy birthday, Yovani. It's his 36th birthday today. And what I've done is I'm going to give you 5 players, and I want you to tell me whether or not they are older or younger than Yovani Gallardo.
I love
this is going to be fun.
So are they 36 or are they not yet 36?
Okay.
All right, so we're going to start out. Is Mark Trumbo older or younger than Yovani Gallardo?
Oh, definitely younger, because he retired early. He had the knee issues. I think he's like 33 right now or something, maybe 34.
I'll be contrarian. I'll say he's older. What's the fun if we all guess the same?
Well, one of you is right, and the answer is older. Mark Trumbo was born on January 16th, 1986. He is a month older than Yovani.
What? There is no way. He's already 36?
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I thought he retired much younger than he did. Wow. Okay. Good for Andrew.
All right. How about Homer Bailey? Is Homer Bailey older or younger than Yovani?
Gotta be younger.
I'm gonna say older, because I feel like he was like 34 in 2019 when he got traded to Oakland.
All right, well, Andrew is right again. Homer Bailey was born on May 3rd, 1986. He is a little over 2 months younger than Yovani.
Damn. Andrew's good at this game. All right.
How about Josh Donaldson?
I think he's older.
Andrew, you're going to be contrarian or no?
Oh, sorry, I said older. I probably said it the same time Sahil did.
Well, you're both right this time. Josh Donaldson was born December 8th, 1985. He is older than Yovani.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. All right. How about Mike Karp?
Oh, man, I completely forgot about Mike Karp. I swear he's been around forever, but also, like, Yovani's, like, kind of existed for a while. I'm going to let Andrew answer this one first this time.
I'm going to go younger. He just doesn't give me the same Gallardo age energy.
I'm going to be the contrarian, and I'm going to say older. I'm going to say he's like a month older or something stupid like that.
All right. Well, Andrew, you were 4 for 4. Mike Karp is younger than Yovani.
Oh, my God.
He was born June 30th, 1986.
Christ.
All right. And the final one we have, how about Philly Hughes? Is Philly Hughes older or younger than Yovani?
So I maybe cheated a little bit, but I looked up Mark Trumbo after you said that because I did not believe his age. And Trumbo played travel baseball against Phil Hughes per his Wikipedia page, but that doesn't mean that he might not be older.
I mean, these guys,
a month older, right?
These guys are all within a couple months on either side of Yovani.
I'm gonna say younger, and I don't have any reason to think it's younger, but I'm gonna say younger anyway.
All right, give me the over. Give me the over. I got a lot writing on this.
Phil Hughes is born on June 24th, 1986. He is younger than Yovani.
No!
Yes! Finally got one. All right.
All right. Mark Trumbo is older. Homer Bailey is younger. Josh Donaldson is older. Mike Karp and Phil Hughes are both younger.
That was fun. I like that.
Take a B. 80%.
Yeah, so, and we've got a bunch more 36 birthdays we can celebrate too. Keep your eye out on May 3rd for Homer Bailey.
Oh, Homer Bailey.
Phil Hughes and Mike Karp within 6 days of each other at the end of June.
I love that. We'll have to make sure to mention those on the pod.
We are not going to remember.
You know what? one of us will remember. It'll be like a gut feeling. We'll wake up that day and we'll be like, you know whose birthday it is today? It's Homer Bailey's birthday.
Do either of you have the same birthday as any baseball players?
Oh, let's search that up.
Probably. I'm gonna have to look it up though.
Yeah. Knowing off the top of your head. Well, while you're looking, I know I've got the same birthday as Goose Gossage. I've got the same birthday as Tony Cingrani, and a certain multi two-way player, you could say, maybe even the one we named this podcast after, has the same birthday as me.
Jake Cronenworth?
Michael Lorenzen?
Both of them.
Oh, nice. I have the same birthday as 3 Hall of Famers, Ken Griffey Jr., Stan Musial, and Freddie Lindstrom, who I had actually never heard of. That's actually maybe bad.
Was he one of those guys that Frankie Frisch put in because he was buddies with him?
I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you. He played for 4 teams. He played for the Cubs, Dodgers, Pirates, and Giants.
If he played for the Giants, chances are that's the reason.
More recently, I share a birthday with Quentin Berry. Remember him? And actually, Quentin Berry played for Baltimore. I forgot about that. And Hank Blaylock, who I really wanted to play for the Orioles at one point, but never quite worked out. Also, Jason Garcia, who pitched in 3 games for the Orioles in 2015, and then was basically never heard from again. So that name sounds really familiar. What about you, Andrew?
Yeah, I got nobody too impressive. Of the people born on my birthday, they have been voted to a collective 2 All-Star games. That going to Paul Bird and Harry Simpson.
Who's the second one?
Harry Simpson played from 46 to 59. The most WAR on my birthday was Darrell Hamilton, played in the 90s. Wayne Garrett, who played in the 70s, and Clay Dalrymple, who played in the 60s, all of whom had 16.7 WAR. Of active players, I've got Rockies legend Mike Tauchman. I've got JT Chargois, and I've got Connor Wade for the Orioles, I believe.
Yeah, he
is bad.
Yeah, he is not very good.
He had an 11 ERA.
He is, yeah.
I also apparently have Austin Hayes. That's fun.
That's good. Yeah, mine was an underwhelming list. I'm kind of bummed. Oh, Manny Corpus.
Hey, fun fact, Connor Wade started his career in the Rockies minor league system.
That's why he's bad.
Yeah, drafted in the 7th round. He was broken, I guess, by the time he came to the Orioles.
It's a handful of Rockies. Darrell Hamilton was a Rocky, Manny Corpus, Mike Tauchman. And from there, they just get all really old. Cozy Dolan was born on my birthday.
But yeah, is there anything else we want to talk about, either with the 69th episode or with the Yovani celebration?
I'll say one thing about Yovani. I think it's so wild to me how Yovani, just by being traded to the Mariners after signing with the Orioles and then having his 30.86 ERA with the Reds in 3 games, has just become this giant M-SABR legend that just like transcends like this league. He's a big part of the whole like history of the club, his whole emoji, just like everything, we had the Gallardo Awards, all of that. And strangely, I feel like Cam and I are actually like became kind of close friends because Gallardo pitched for both of our teams, which is really weird. A weird way for us.
I think you might be right.
No, it 100% is right. Because we formed the Gallardo Club. It is just absolutely wild to me the effect that one player has had on our lives. Not even like saying it sarcastically. It's just like is the objective truth. So happy birthday, Yovani. Thank you for the impact you've had on my life. It is crazy, but I would not change our obsession for you for anything.
Absolutely. I mean, this guy loves Yovani Gallardo.
I'm wearing my shirt. I wore it to class today, like with no shame. And we're doing like a formal negotiation in my negotiations class today. And like, you know, it's not like people are super dressed up, but they look like kind of put together. And I'm sitting here with this like, this guy loves Yovani Gallardo shirt. And totally worth it. I definitely got a couple stares, but totally worth it.
Absolutely. These guys love Yovani Gallardo. Happy birthday, pal. And we're going to have to take a quick break, though, but we will be back. Andrew's going to stick around with us, and he's going to answer some questions about his offseason.
Oh, Yovani Gallardo has worked very hard so he could become the Brewers' ace. Yovani Gallardo, he comes from Mexico. He pitches with a really mean look on his face. Oh, Yovani Gallardo, he is so awesome. The only pitcher ever to hit a homer off of Randy Johnson.
All right, we are back now. Andrew is still with us. How are you doing here? How's the break treated you?
Oh, you know, it was a wonderful break. We found some new music. We laughed, we cried.
Yeah, I see you played me in chess during the break too.
I did.
Very cool.
Yes. But I'm back. I'm focused, and I'm ready to talk baseball.
Excellent. Can't wait. And we do have some baseball to talk to you about. And I guess the big pressing question here that we wanted to ask, we teased it early in the episode. Josh Young, you were kind of expecting him to step into your starting third base role early into the season. You traded away Brian Hayes. How are you feeling? What's the plan? Do you have Joey Wensleydale on speed dial?
I'm bummed. And I guess we can talk more about the Alex trade in a sec, but you know, Young was the guy for me. You know, I was trying to decide between Hayes and Josh Young, and I was like, you know. So I finally decided on Young. I like his fantasy profile a little bit better than what Hayes has shown. Like, I think Young's got more power, and I'm relatively a home run starved team. I've made some moves this offseason to try and reduce the lack of homers, or as one might say, normally increase homers. But the Josh Young injury kills me. It means my only third baseman right now is Luis Arias. And with Young out for another year, it's basically another year of just waiting for Josh Young when he's perfectly ready to enter the MLB. So I'm sure the Rangers are just as disappointed as I am, though they've got Kiner Falefa, and I've got, you know, maybe Joey Wensleydale. We'll see if anybody on my team gets injured. I'm certainly not going to rush to pick him up right now. So, you know, it's one of those things that happens. Injury is part of the sport, but nevertheless, it doesn't reduce any of my excitement for Josh Young when he comes back. You know, maybe he'll be a September call-up if he's ready to go by that point in time, and just hit the ground running in 2023. But undoubtedly, this you know, sets back how well I can compete this year. So it's definitely frustrating to see at the very least.
Yeah, a big bummer indeed. I will say, like, I do like Luis Urias a lot, so he's definitely, you know, a solid player that can fill in, but definitely a big loss. I kind of asked you this off the air, but had you known that Josh Young was going to get hurt, would you have made the Brian Hayes deal, or do you think you would have held on to Hayes and tried to make a different deal with Alex to get it, like guys like Framber and whoever else was in that deal, Kyle Schwarber, Emerson Hancock, guys like that?
Yeah, no, I would have held on to Hayes, undoubtedly. So if I could have a nice undo button after knowing what I know now, it would be the time to pull that. I mean, I gave away. It's not like I got Josh Young. If it were Hayes for Josh Young, that would be, you know, even worse. You know, if I trade away Hayes for Young and then just got him injured, but still not having like a real top third baseman is frustrating, but even so, I'm not disappointed with how the trade went down. And I guess, if Bobby Witt comes up and he plays at third, like he might have to, looking at the Royals infield, maybe he'll slot into my third base spot this year. I think he'll end up being at least third base and shortstop eligible. So it won't be too bad. I have a backup plan, thanks to the Royals owning a bunch of middle infielders.
That is a good point. I didn't even think about the possibility of Witt playing third. I think even without Young, you still have a very solid infield here. I mean, Crone, Albies, Urias, Swanson, Cronenworth, and Nate Lau. Maybe Tyler Stevenson fills in one of the corner infield spots or something from time to time. Paul DeYoung, Andres Jimenez. So there's some potential here still. Definitely a hit, but do you anticipate making a trade for a third baseman, or do you think this is more let's roll with Urias and maybe wait if he gets eligibility and then just kind of see from there?
No, I don't think I'll have to trade to Phil. I think I'll probably just roll with Urias, maybe Witt, and then I can, pick up someone who's floating on the waiver wire doing all right, whether it's, I don't know, Brian Anderson, Joey Wendell, Gio Urshela. There's a ton of guys out there. So if one of my guys gets hurt at the beginning of the season, I'll be able to pick some third baseman up. That'll probably be my first waiver wire ad. I'll give you that. I don't know that I'll trade, but I'll probably add a third baseman unless there's some new closer that comes out right at the beginning of the season.
I will say there is a third baseman that you and I scouted pretty extensively this summer down in Charlotte. Jake Berger, he is available.
Tempting. Former good prospect. Now he's just kind of around. I'm sure he'll be hanging out in Charlotte. So if you're over there this summer after your law studies,
yeah,
you can go hang out with Jake Berger.
Oh, I will. He and I will hit the town. Jake Berger, for those of you who don't remember, was the 37th round pick by Anthony. 1 round after he picked Pete Alonso, and 2 rounds after he picked current Crone Zone member Brian Reynolds. So always fun. But yeah, let's move beyond Josh Young here. You have had maybe one of the more interesting off seasons, and I feel like you have one of the more exciting teams. You kind of mentioned, that losing Young would, maybe be a hit for you competing this year, but do you think you're going to compete for a playoff spot this year? Like, what are your expectations going into the year, and like, what are you looking for this season?
I want to win some matchups. I'm kind of sick of not winning matchups. And I found at the beginning of last year when I was winning matchups that I was having a lot more fun than the end of the year when I was, as you might expect, not winning matchups. So I don't expect to be an elite caliber team. I'm not going to be, for example, the Sahils and Cams of the world, wherever they may be right now. But I think I want to see this team scrape some wins across. And if I only finish, 8th, I'll be a little bummed. I want to be in the race this year, but I mean, my team is still missing critical pieces. So I have no ace. I just have a bunch of guys that are between probably the 30th best pitcher and the 60th best pitcher. So I don't really have anybody that stands out in my rotation. They're all guys that just had mediocre years last year and have upside, and it's a little frustrating, but I don't know. Adding Framber is certainly nice because I have a lot of upside guys, but I don't have a lot of higher floor guys. So Framber is kind of the higher floor guy that I'll know will be relatively consistent. Or at least so I'm hoping. But I guess to go back to your question, I want to win, but trying to get just a little bit closer. So I think maybe there's a deal or two left to be done this offseason.
I love it. Always love to see people making more trades. So I support that. Cam, I've just been talking. Why don't you ask your next question?
Yeah. So I guess, where do you see yourself realistically improving this year? What do you think your next moves could be? And apologies if this is something you just answered, but I guess what do you think your biggest and most addressable weaknesses.
Yeah, totally. Well, we'll step back. Going into the offseason, knew I needed to improve two areas, the outfield and starting pitching. I feel like the addition of Schwarber has added a nice, consistent, both, power hitting and on basing outfielder. So I'm excited about that. Duvall will hit a bunch of home runs. We know that, but he's not the on base kind of guy. And then Adolis Garcia is just one of those guys that has easy power. So those three guys, added and, Duvall reacquired, I suppose, are really treats to see in my outfield if I'm going for kind of a lower OBP strategy, which I have a lot of guys that fit that mold. So, picking up those guys is kind of one step in the plan. I guess, Will Myers is kind of a throw in, but I'll gamble on a bounce back. I have enough room. So yeah, what's left is pitching. And I think the way I might go for it is by dealing from my infield. So we'll have to see it. I'm not going to move like Ozzy Albies, but I've been hearing offers on Dansby Swanson to try and get another pitcher or two in here to throw some more strikes, I suppose. And then surprisingly, my bullpen has kind of turned out quite nice so far this offseason. I think I had just Jordan Romano at the end of last year, and I've got Romano, Neville, Floro, Kimbrel, and Pomeranz. And I'm quite frankly very pleased with how that's looking so far to start the season. But, I guess we'll see. Those are questions that have to be answered in spring training in the first few weeks. But yeah, starting pitching.
Yeah, don't we all need starting pitching?
I don't, but
you don't. Yeah, Sahil, you can say
the rest of you all might. But speaking of starting pitching, last week on the air, Cam and I talked a bit about this monster trade that you just made with Alex. And I think the way I described the trade when I saw it was, wow, it just wrapping my head around it was hard just because it was just such a massive trade. Why don't you discuss a little bit kind of the thinking behind the trade and why you pulled the trigger? I mean, we obviously talked about how, had you known Young was going to be hurt, you might not have moved Hayes, but I think, like you said, even still solid value. Talk about this trade.
Totally. Yeah. And you guys mentioned on the podcast, I think, before you recorded, I mentioned to you that it was kind of like a floor for a ceiling sort of deal. Yeah. So I already have a lot of these high ceiling guys, or these potential high ceiling guys that are coming up the system. Bobby Witt, he won't be there yet, but I have like a Tanner Houck, a Ranger Suarez in my rotation where it's like they've shown flashes of greatness, but we don't exactly know if they're going to end up doing it this year. So I ended up dealing Luzardo, who might be the biggest piece in the deal from my perspective. But, I think it's time for him to put up or shut up in the league. And I was just kind of sick of watching him look really good for 2 innings and then just have a really bad inning and get blown up. But, and then at the same time I dealt from depth. I had no need for Francisco Alvarez. And the only person who was really biting on him with serious offers was Alex. So, I mean, that one kind of answered itself, sending him over to Alex, and he'll be a stud. Backstopping Alex's team probably for years to come. I already had a third baseman. I had Young, I guess, and then trading away Tapia was like trading away a cookie. I don't know. Tapia for Myers was kind of an end of the deal throwaway. Like like you said last week, we're both kind of done with these guys. Like, so it was just, if he wants some speed, and I think Will Myers might have a little speed left in him, and maybe he'll DH this year. So we'll see if he gets past the playing time.
I love that phrase, trading Tapia is like trading away a cookie.
I don't know. I like cookies, but they're not, I can get one elsewhere.
Yeah, that's very true. That just cracked me up. But yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like you characterized that trade, exactly right. With who you gave up. Did you talk about the additions here, Schwarber, Valdez, what you think they do? I know Valdez, you said, is kind of a nice stable arm, but what about Schwarber?
Yeah. What's not to like about Schwarber? And maybe my interest in him was perhaps fueled by rumors that he might end up in Coors. So if that happens, it'll be a dream come true for me. But look, I mean, the other teams that are looking into him, he's going to produce wherever he goes. So whether or not he gets the actual homer boost at Coors doesn't really matter, I suppose. But, he's one of those guys that he's in the peak of his career, and I know what I'm getting out of him. At least a 30 home run pace. He has a great eye, and whatever team he goes on, he's going to hit in a spot where he can produce. So, it's the sort of the same thing happening in my outfield. I didn't really have guys like that aside from maybe Reynolds. I guess Duvall has good opportunities, and Jesus Sanchez is really moving up there. He's got easy power as well. He's a real treat to watch. But yeah, again, it's just one of those pieces that makes my outfield a lot stronger and a lot more secure, at least going into next year, rather than having to gamble, on a waiver wire pickup or waiting for Lede to reach the majors or whatnot.
Yeah, I love me some Jesus Sanchez.
Oh yeah. Your outfield does definitely look better. Your pitching staff looks better with Framber Valdez in it as well. And I know you previously were certainly talking about potentially moving Jordan Montgomery. Is that something you're more or less likely to do now? What's kind of your thought process with him?
Yeah, I received a really interesting offer for Montgomery a week or two ago, and a lot of it depends on, as my rotation stands right now, I just don't think I can move out another starting pitcher, because I don't really think Boz will start in the rotation. I think he's going to end up, I don't know. I just don't think the Rays have enough room for Boz right now. So I think they're kind of also going to play the McClanahan card with him this year. So yeah, I just don't have enough starting pitchers to be comfortable dealing for hitters right now. I kind of want to go the other way where, if I can lose one hitter and gain a pitcher overall, I think that will put me in a much better position. So yeah, I don't know that Montgomery's going anywhere just yet. I know everybody, he's been really hitting all the sleeper lists, and he's got a couple of really good pitches too. So I'll have to see what I do with Jordan Montgomery and my other pitchers as well, because I've gotten some traction on people asking about a couple of them, but I just don't think I have enough starting pitching depth at the major league level to justify dealing for say, like, the most interesting offer I got was like a stud outfielder who's supposed to be a stud outfielder who's had a couple bad years in the pros. So I don't know. We'll see. Certainly, I have a lot of starting pitching depth in my minor league system, so hopefully they end up coming up the ways.
Yeah, you do have a lot of guys coming up. I mean, just looking at your prospect list right now. Adrian Morejón, we'll see. Reed Detmers has already made his major league debut.
They better send him down. They need Detmers. They need Detmers to get his stuff back in AAA.
Yeah, let's hope so. And either way, Nick Lodolo is probably going to be up fairly early this year as well. So you've got reinforcements coming. It's going to be an interesting rotation to watch for sure.
Yeah. On that note, I feel like this is a good question. I want you to name one of your starting pitchers, because I think you have one of the most interesting rotations, the one that you're most excited to see this year, and then the one prospect that you have that you are most excited about for this year. It doesn't necessarily need to be the best, but one guy you're just really looking forward to see like what they do this year.
I am most intrigued by Tanner Houck. And one of the reasons is just because I love dudes with stuff, and Tanner Houck has stuff, man. His slider, I don't know if you guys have ever watched videos of Tanner Houck's slider.
Oh yeah. It's nasty.
It is disgusting. So the question for him, and the thing I'm most excited to see is he going to be, this 5-inning guy, or can he get deeper into games and be a little more efficient in his counts early? Can he hit the zone with his fastball, right? But I think his slider has a ridiculous swinging strike percentage. I don't remember what it is, but it's somewhere in the nutty range. So we'll say Tanner Houck for now on the major side. In the minor leagues, I'm most excited to see. I think I'm most excited to follow Zach Veen.
Good pick.
Yeah, Rockies guy. Time to, show what he can do. I think he'll be in AA this year probably. And I was interested to see Fangraphs slid him down a bit on their board. They put him to 71. I was like, that's an interesting take there, Fangraphs. But if Fina's supposedly the real deal or the future of the Rockies outfield, then he'll be a treat to watch. And maybe I can go up to Hartford and see him in a couple games this year.
Ooh, I would not be opposed to going to a game in Hartford again. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, especially if Veen's there.
See them yard goats.
Oh yeah,
Goats.
The goats. Oh man.
Goats. Second place goes to Leiter because I just want to see what he can do in the pros.
Yeah, I feel like Cam and I had some definitely had some thoughts about you drafting him on the podcast. So I'll definitely be excited to see what happens there. I know the Fangraphs list that just came out today, I think Adam was like a top 30, top 25, I think, prospect. So I think he has a chance to be really special. I think he's one of the safer pitchers of like the top guys in the minor leagues. I don't know if he has a ceiling of like Grayson Rodriguez necessarily, but I think Jack Leiter is going to be like a solid number 2 starter for like 10 years.
I was going to say, I don't think he's going to be this number 1 ace, but he'll definitely be a 2 or 3 starter. I'm fairly confident anyways, unless something goes really wrong, which if you look at Riley Pint, things can go really wrong. So
Riley Pint. Oh man, that is a name I have not thought about in a hot sec.
The thing about Riley Pint, he was 17 and he was throwing 103 miles an hour. Of course he was going to blow his arm out. I was 14 and I knew at the time this guy's going to blow his arm out.
Yeah, well, the Rockies front office sure seemed surprised by it. But hey, I love me some college arms. That's the thing. I like the guys that are a little older when they get drafted, have a little more opportunity to learn their repertoire, learn their efficiencies.
That's Nick Lodolo for you right there.
Yep, Leiter, Painter, Lodolo, Detmers, almost Hunter Brown. I don't know that I have any high school pitchers. Maybe Matt Allen.
Yeah, Matt Allen is a high school guy.
But aside from that, I don't think I have any high school pitchers. Wait, no, Shane Boz.
Shane Boz
is a different story because he's special.
He is very special. Oh man, Shane Boz. To think I had him and Josh Young at one point, and Nick Lodolo, and Hunter Brown. Like I swear half of your farm is just guys that I used to have. But
I traded Riley Green for Anthony Desclafani. You cannot be upset.
Oh no.
No.
Tell me that wasn't all that was involved in that deal.
No. That was the Charlie Blackmon trade where I also got I got Sean Murphy in that trade too, but it was the first trade I made. Yeah, Desclafani, Sean Murphy in 2 seconds for Chuck, Riley Green in a second. That's such a boneheaded deal. It was like 2 weeks after I had gotten my team, and Eric was like, "Hey, is Charlie Blackmon available?" And I wanted to ask for Riley Green. I was like, "Yeah, you can have him." So bad.
We all have our dumb trades. I remember trading away Yordan Alvarez for Zach Greinke and Chris Archer. It still haunts me. Grayson Rodriguez I had, and I traded away. You know how sore I am about the Will Smith deal, so we all make our mistakes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember trading away Yordan Alvarez too.
For Blake Parker, your trade was worse than mine. Yordan Alvarez for Blake Parker, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not forget that once happened.
I had a pretty bad one. I practically gifted Alex Framber Valdez and Logan Gilbert. The return was Kopech, Andres Jimenez, and Nate Lowe. So.
Well, Kopech, I'm actually really interested to see this year because I think Kopech can be really solid. And I'm pretty sure you dealt Kopech for a nice return.
Kopech was in the monster 16-player deal.
Oh my God! Yeah.
If we look back on that,
let's do that. This trade.
I think I win big.
This trade looks a lot better for you now than it did at the time. And it's funny because you traded away Jesus Sanchez in that deal, and you now have Jesus Sanchez back.
Same with Austin Hayes. Yeah, Austin Hayes has gone back and forth between me and Connor.
Yeah. This is a multi-Hayes deal, Austin and Cabrian. And ironically, you traded away kind of Philippa, so otherwise you could have had the replacement for Young on your roster. But boy, God, I still remember that winter meetings. It was like you and Connor were just quiet the entire time. You're like, something big's about to happen. I'm like, yeah, like, yeah, they're gonna make this like little dingy like 3-player deal, and they're just gonna hype it up for no reason. And then this drops. Like, just who saw it coming?
Yeah, I traded Ethan Hankins to Cam too, but I think Ethan Hankins has seen
his time with my team has come to an end.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
A damn shame. Does anybody even own Ethan Hankins now?
I don't think so. You should pick him up right now.
I don't know. I can't drop any more of these top 100 guys.
But you could. You could drop, like PTA.
I could do you a favor and drop McAble.
You could drop. Yeah, a lot of these guys I'd be happy if you drop. Just tell me who it is. I'll type it up.
I'm honored to finally have a farm where people are like, hey, there are a lot of guys that I take if you drop them. So I love it. Maybe I'll start doing like I did with Dan Straley last week and just keep dropping Asher Wojciechowski and try to get people to type his last name in every time.
And maybe Cam will have a farm that rivals yours one day.
Yeah.
Maybe someday. We can only hope.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I look at Cam's farm and I look at like Vidal Brujan and like George Valera, Anthony Volpe, Tyler Soderstrom. Like, who the hell are these guys? Luis Matos, scrub.
Ethan Rodriguez, named after a color? Really?
His father is the color. He's the gray sun.
True. That's even worse.
That's
Get some real prospects, Cam.
all right. Do we have any more questions for Andrew here?
No, Andrew. Do you have any questions for us? Let's close this up like it's a job interview.
No. I actually have one more question before he asks us questions. It's the question we've asked everybody. Is there one player that you'd be interested in trading for that maybe you have reached out on them, maybe you haven't reached out on them, but someone that you really, want to go out and get? Give us a realistic answer. You're not getting Juan Soto off of Cam. Actually,
yeah,
might be able to get Juan Soto, but I feel like Jake McGee, he might be less willing to trade back to you than Juan Soto.
Yeah, I mean, not really, an exciting name per se, but I've sent out feelers for Chris Bassett.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, he's another one of those guys that's decidedly not an ace, but is a stable, gets it done every day, goes out and can be a good number 3 kind of guy. So we'll see.
Lunch pail kind of guy.
Exactly. He's your blue collar, greasy, grindy, get through 6 innings kind of guy. So he's certainly on the list. And then one of my failed attempts to trade for someone was Logan Gilbert. And I tried so hard to land Logan Gilbert from Alex in our negotiations, and it was a no-go. So I had to settle for Framber.
I really like Logan Gilbert too. I feel you there. But Framber is a great get. I think Bassett is great. I know I've inquired on Bassett this offseason. I think a lot of teams have. I think he'd be a great fit for your team.
Aside from I'm in talks for some other people, but all the serious talks I won't spoil. I'll let you guys be surprised by them when it happens in real time.
I do love it. You seem to do a really good job, I think more so than other teams, of genuinely surprising me with the trades that you make, and usually for the better recently. You've gotten a lot better than your days of trading away Riley Green for Anthony DeSclafani. But, oh boy, I am excited to see what the rest of the offseason looks like for the Crone Zone and the season. I honestly think, we put the hot take in the sheet a couple of weeks ago. We think that you could be a playoff team this year. So we'll see what happens. Oh, God. I am now reminded that you made the hot take. Let's double down. Nate Lowe hits 25 home runs in 2022 and collects over 90 ribbies. If the season is shortened, we'll use the 162-game pace, which I actually think could happen.
It could. Nate Lowe is an excellent hitter. He's got pop, and he'll be hitting, behind Seager and Simeon. So those guys can get on base, and if Nate Lowe can hit some sac flies, hit some homers, it'll happen. I'm pretty convinced. I'm kind of becoming a Rangers fangirl right now. That would not be the first Rangers that I fangirled over and kind of added them to my enjoying list. So, Greg, if you're listening, I don't like the Rangers because they play in the AL West. Boo. But I like the Rangers.
Oh, my God. Yeah, you can't break Greg's heart like that.
The Rangers are just like the Rockies light. Like there are what is it? The quote natural rival.
I guess
Yeah, it's kind of sad. Oh wait, no, I think they made ours the Astros because we play them every year. That makes no sense. But the Rangers, man, two sad teams. I'm all for it.
Two sad teams that have been in World Series in the past 15 years, but have had just not managed to win one.
Yeah, well, just wait for this year. The Rockies will get theirs.
I have faith in the Rockies.
Everyone.
I have faith in them. World Series champs. Let's make it happen.
Yes, let's make it happen. Us.
Yeah, you know what? We could speak it into existence. I spoke Christian Yelich or MVP into existence. I will speak Rocktober into existence.
I don't think that's optimistic. You'll have to wait for my season preview to come out. If the lockout ever ends. So there's still a lot of free agency to go too. A lot of moving pieces around the league. A lot of people that are going to be traded. I still have 2 free agents, so who knows?
Absolutely, yeah. We could see Kyle Schwarber and Chris Bryant sign with the Rockies. Just who needs pitching when you just have a mega offense?
That might be the way to go. And they like home-growing pitchers anyways, because what pitcher's going to come to Coors on their own volition? Might as well get drafted by them and just work your way up.
Hey, man, Mike Hampton did it.
Mike Hampton.
Wade Davis.
I don't think. Came in free agency. Yeah. Well, Wade Davis and Mike Hampton both sucked at Coors.
They were both very bad. We did search up Mike Hampton off air before we recorded the podcast, and oh my God, I forgot just how bad he was in Coors.
The one reliever in recent history that's done serviceable at Coors that came from a different team, and this wasn't even of their own volition though. I guess it was just Bob Steve. He'll probably be our closer next year. But Brian Shaw, Wade Davis, Sungwon Oh, Pat Neshek, for you Pat Neshek fans out there.
He was a world for a hot sec, so I am a fan.
They were just all bad at Coors. I love watching Pat Neshek play. I thought that was the most fun trade pickup ever because, he's a sidearm guy. So, yeah, they're all bad in Coors. Point is, you can't pitch in Coors. Yet I roster Herman Marquez, and I'm excited for Ryan Rollison to debut. So
absolutely, there is some faith for the Rockies farm system. Go Rockies! Rocktober, baby.
I needed that.
Don't worry.
I got to thinking about who's on our roster, and more importantly, who's not, and who's no longer on our roster. So thinking about that, it's a dark day.
I'm hoping Pat Vallejo finds his way back in Colorado.
God.
That would make my day.
Reminds me of the whole Parker Pat Vallejo jersey story.
Oh, we need to hear this.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was 2019, and I'm home for the summer. And Parker and I, every year, for those of you who don't know, Parker Bach, my best friends in the hockey league, on the hockey podcast, we had a little season mini plan. So we got 15 games a year to the Rockies, sat in right field. And in 2017 and 2018, Pat Vallejo was 2017, he was the pinch hit home run god. And he got the nickname Patty Barrels. And they proceeded to hit sub 200 in 2018. So 2019, he comes up and he's pinch hitting because for some reason he's on the Rockies. And I turn to Parker and I go, hey, if Pat, if Patty Barrels hits a home run here, you need to go to the team store and buy a jersey. Is in the middle of saying, you know what, I'll do. And then as soon as that happens, we hear the crack of the bat, and Pat Valaika hits an absolute moon left field. On. So I can't officially hold Parker to getting a Pat Valaika jersey, but he was going to say yes. And Pat Valaika came up mad clutch. The Rockies actually batted around that game, and Pat Valaika came up again. So that time Parker said, all right, I will go to the team store if Pat Valaika hits 2 home runs in 1 inning as the pinch hitter. But unfortunately, he flew out or struck out or probably grounded out to the pitcher or something sad like that. But that's the Pat Valaika jersey story.
Great story.
And if someone's ever selling a Rockies Pat Valaika jersey, I will buy it.
There's a website called alotclothes.com that's selling Pat Valaika jerseys for $53.
That's honestly not a terrible deal.
No, it really is.
Patty Barrels jersey.
I would fully support you if you got a Pat Valaika Rockies jersey. I'll get a Pat Valaika Orioles jersey.
Now we just need to go to the Reds.
Well, the Reds had his brother Chris.
Oh, all right.
Enough.
You can get a Chris Valaika jersey, and then now the Mariners just need to get Pat Valaika.
Yeah, Chris Valaika spent 2 seasons with the Reds, 67 plate appearances, 684 OPS.
That's not horrible.
He hit 1 homer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Definitely more home runs than I would hit in the major leagues.
That is true. He's Chris Valaika, major leaguer.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is all getting cut.
I know.
You know what, Cam? So one of these days, you're going to keep in a crazy tangent, and it's going to be so rewarding for the fans.
All right. Well, it's been great. Any parting words from either of us? Either of the 3 of us?
Well, Andrew, it's been great to have you on. Like I said, I've been looking forward to this episode for a while. It's so strange to me. Like, I feel like we had you on earlier in the off season, but we didn't. All the episodes are running together, but glad we could finally have you on. Glad we had you as a host. And honestly, I still feel kind of threatened by you. I still feel like I'm going to wake up one of these days and you're going to be like over my bed and you're going to be like, I've just taken your podcast job.
Oh, I was kind of worried. That was a little ominous at first, but no, I think if anything, it's going to be a trade where, who cares, you suck, agrees to send Andrew to the pitcher or the hitter, ? For Sahil Shah. It's like, oh, okay. At least it's a 1-for-1 kind of deal. And you can hang out with Parker and Greg and talk about everything you know about hockey, and that'll fit into a 30 segment or something like that.
Honestly, it'd be like life swap, We just like you and I swap podcasts for a week. We'll just see how that goes. That would actually
see that working out.
Yeah, I can actually see that working out. I could see you and Cam doing like a good job on the pitcher to hitter, and like Greg and Parker could just test my hockey knowledge. We could play hockey player or not, and Greg could just come up with all these names. I think that would be a blast. I still want to come on the hockey podcast and play that game. I think that would be a blast.
Oh, it'll happen. But I'll know after the simulation when Parker ends up on this podcast.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, that'd be more interesting for Parker.
He could talk about Pat Valaika.
He could talk about the Pat Valaika jersey story. All right. Well, there's my pick for the night. I'll leave you guys to do like one of those awkward sorts of close.
Ooh.
You're 36 years old, you're 36 years old, you're 36 years old today. You're 36 years old, you're 36 years old, you're 36 years old today. Happy birthday, happy birthday, yeah. Happy birthday, happy birthday, yeah. Hip, hip, hooray, hidey, hidey, ho. You were born 36 years ago. Hip, hip, hooray.
your lead, Ken.
All right. I'm singing the song in my mind. No. Hello and welcome to episode number. Oh God, what number? Okay. No, I should have known. That's.
All right, take two.